So, you see this man here, if Zimbabwe had the Minister of the Year awards, trust me, 2026 was going to be his year. If it was him Danso, he would probably be Hulengende, because whenever he releases something, it makes more noise than usual. Not because everyone agrees with him. Even right now, I wouldn't be surprised if the parliament has his parking bay permanently reserved, because this man has kept the whole of Zimbabwe and MPs busy this year. He even has more than 20 bills in the pipeline. But right now, he's back again. This time is the proposed municipal police and courts bill. The headline everywhere is saying, council can now arrest you, or maybe it's saying this, but just relax. That's not the whole story. In fact, arresting people is only one piece of what the government is trying to do right now. This bill is actually trying to change the whole way local council enforce their own bylaws. That's why I think it's worth understanding before we all start running away from parking attendance.
The principle is that we want to set up municipal courts in order for us to enforce bylaws, enforce municipal areas, is to ensure justice is done. And in coming up with bill, we will then find out, when doing consultations, the linkages, Judicial Service Commission, the appointment processes of magistrates to maintain the courts, how they are going to be remunerated and attended issues. But what we did today is to present to Cabinet principles that we wanted Cabinet to approve, so that we start the consultation processes, the bill writing processes, in order for us to agree on a framework of how we are going to introduce the municipal courts.
That's the minister's explanation. Government is basically saying, look, councils already make their own bylaws under the Urban Council Act and the Rural District Councils Act. So why should they keep calling the Zimbabwe Republic Police every time someone breaks one? Instead, the proposal is to let councils have their own municipal police and their own municipal courts to deal with council matters. And honestly, that's not a bad argument. If it's a council problem, of course, let council deal with it. If somebody is accused of breaking council bylaws, government says that matter shouldn't always be waiting behind a robbery madam and every other serious criminal case. So council should have the authority to arrest, to investigate, and to run their own separate courts. Probably not just a mini government on paper, which actually sounds efficient. But Zimbabweans don't read policies with their own eyes. We read them with our own experiences. The moment people hear that more powers for council, they didn't think about the legal language. They remember the headlines. They remember the videos. They remember the press statements. They also remember the reports of confrontations involving municipal police. They also remember the lady who was in emergency with a sick child but still ended up arguing over a parking. They also remember the council officer who was caught on video assaulting a woman. They also remember the 3 people that died when they drowned in a sewer pipe. That's what people remember. The question isn't really, should council enforce their own bylaws? Of course, they should enforce their own bylaws. The real question is, if we're upgrading their powers, are we going to upgrade their professionalism too? The cost that they are going to set, how justify that it won't be just another revenue piece that will disappear without accountability? At growth points, imagine the abuse that will come with someone who's just handed a button stick and handcuffs and told you can now arrest anyone. Because power without trust is like giving Wi-Fi to someone who still doesn't know the password. And of course, then comes the service delivery. This is where Zimbabweans become very, very difficult customers. Government says the bill is about to improve efficiency. Of course, residents saying, excellent. While you're improving efficiency, can someone also improve the water pressure? Because you can't tell me my tap has been on leave since February. The pothole outside my house has now become a tourist attraction. Refuse collection now works on faith. But somehow, the ticket book is always fully charged. Regardless, we must also understand that these councils sometimes do much more than people sometimes give them credit for. They run clinics, inspect food outlets, manage markets, repair roads, approve building plans, and provide essential services with a limited budget. Yes, corruption is there, but there are a lot of households, a lot of buildings in these cities don't pay council bills. They owe these councils. The government's argument is that new enforcement powers will help them do those jobs better. Critics, of course, say that's actually fine, but stronger powers must also come with strong accountability. So before somebody actually sends you a voice note saying council police have actually started arresting people today, just breathe a little bit. Of course, Cabinet has approved the proposal, yes, but Parliament still has to debate it and it can still be amended, and only after presidential assent does it become law. For now, the biggest thing this bill has arrested is only Zimbabweans' attention. Peace.